Qantas profits are down 91% and travel dates are announced. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heiser here and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Grab your stein of coffee and there's a few articles I want to look at from news.com.au discussing, well, latest information from Qantas. Their profits have plunged 91%. And I can't say anyone at all is surprised about that. So let's jump over here and have a look at their share price. You can see right now they're sitting at $3.76. Their 52-week high was at $7.46. Their 52-week low is at $2.03. Their dividend yield is 7.05%. So if we jump out to a year, we can see back in January they were at this high, about $7. You know, Feb they were at $6.67 and then they took a dive. So they're slowly creeping up. We'd hate to be the poor bastard that bought here at $4.93, but them's the breaks sometimes. Yeah, and we'll see how they go. We'll see how they go. So let's have a look at this. Qantas profits plunged 91% due to the pandemic. Qantas profits have plunged 91% in what the Premier airline has called the most challenging period in its long history. In its 2020 financial year results released on Thursday, the airline recorded a statutory loss after tax of $1.97 billion. Qantas confirms the loss of at least 6,000 permanent jobs due to the ongoing financial blows caused by the pandemic. The country's largest airline said the near total collapse of the aviation industry has caused a $4 billion revenue plunge due to the loss of ticket sales since the end of March. The company's loss represents a 333.8% slump compared to the 2019 financial year. Removing one-off costs and impairments, the company booked an underlying profit before tax of $124 million, a 91% decline on the previous year. We have to make some very tough decisions in the past few months to guarantee our future, Chief Executive Alan Joyce said. At least 6,000 of our people will leave the business through no fault of their own, and thousands more will be stood down for a long time. An additional 20,000 employees will remain stood down. Here's the question I put to you. What would you rather? Be stood down or unemployed? At least unemployed, you can make arrangements and go and find new opportunities. If you're stood down and then you find another work, people may be scared to hire you. They may not want to take you on and spend all the time training you up, getting you working, because once you get your Qantas job back again, you're going to abandon them. So in some ways, I'd say being stood down is worse. You're in some weird limbo situation. Worst of both worlds. Let me know your opinion on that one. So they've also announced new flight dates. We'll jump to this article here as well, as also from news.com.au. So Qantas financial results 2020, new overseas flight dates revealed. So, in what has been a horror year for the global aviation industry, Qantas have revealed a full scale of losses amid the COVID-19 global pandemic. In a trading update on Thursday, which covered 4 months during the pandemic, the nation's largest airline revealed an almost $2 billion loss for the 12 months ending June 30. The airline said the results reflected a strong first half of the year, followed by a total collapse in travel and demand. Well, the near total collapse of the aviation industry had caused a $4 billion revenue plunge due to the loss of ticket sales since the end of March, when the federal government put an international travel ban in place. Now, we're seeing this manifest in Qantas in one portion of the industry, but international tourism is huge in Australia. It is huge. Look at the size, how it contributes to our GDP, everyone. $60 billion. 3.1% of national GDP. That's equivalent to some huge mining industries. And it's going to have a flow-on effect. There's going to be a lot of people, probably a lot of people in retail jobs, probably a lot of people in tourism jobs that are going to be affected by this. And this is just the beginning, sadly. The impact of the pandemic on all airlines is clear. It's devastating, and it will be a question of survival for many, Qantas Group CEO said in a statement. We've had to make some very tough decisions in the past few months to guarantee our future. At least 6,000 people will leave the business through no fault of their own. Recovery will take time and it will be choppy. Mr. Joyce predicts the airline will resume international travel by July 2021, with the Trans-Tasman bubble earlier if possible. So July 2021. I'll have to tell that to my sister-in-law who works or is on hold from baggage handling at the International Airport of Brisbane. Another 6 months after Christmas, everyone. And what capacity will that be? How's that going to affect the housing market? Remember, migration is a big part of our housing market. You've got the whole university sector dependent on international students. Do people still imagine there's going to be a V-shaped recovery? We've already had setbacks with borders opening and closing, and then opening and then closing again. He said, most airlines will come through this crisis a lot leaner, which means we have to reinvent how we run parts of our business to success in a changing market. Mr. Joyce said the recent border closures within Australia had caused upheaval and uncertainty for customers and for the airline to recover in the domestic market. We've been hit by another set of border closures. It shows how important it is to have a national framework for domestic borders so that there is clarity and consistency, he said. Despite the recent setbacks, we know conditions will ultimately improve. Well, they can't get much bloody worse, can they? The financial update comes after a tough year for the airline, announcing in June it will slash 6,000 jobs from its 29,000 workforce. In addition to the jobs cuts, the national carrier will stand down 15,000 workers for at least the rest of the year, with part of a 3-year recovery plan to speed its recovery from the pandemic. But Mr. Joyce said that simply getting smaller would not lead to success in a post-COVID world. We'll have to operate differently in response, and that will mean more hard decisions, he told media on Thursday. There will be some reinvention required to succeed in a different world. The Qantas recovery plan, announced in June, hopes to save the airline $15 billion through job decreases, ongoing employee stand-downs, and fuel savings through a lack of aircraft movement. We know financial year 21 will be another tough year, he said. Coming out of this crisis, we'll be the only Australian airline that can fly long haul. We want to expand on that when our balance sheet allows, picking up where we left off with Project Sunrise, including our fleets from the eastern states directly to Europe and directly to the east coast of the US. The airline made a $56 million profit for the year from international travel, driven by a record performance by Qantas Freight. So, there we have it, everyone. No international travel until July next year. Profits down 91%. Thousands of people stood down from their jobs. Well, it's going to have ripple effects through the rest of the economy. We can't deny that. As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or KuCoin. You can buy merch from Heiser Says, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you all in the next episode.